Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today I have the pleasure of Board of Supervisor Jay Butler. So Jay, welcome to Town Talk. It's been a while since we've had you in here.
It certainly has.
And you all have been busy on the board.
Yes, we have.
So why don't you bring us up to date, what some of the new things you're working on and what's on your heart that you want to talk to us about?
Well, the first thing is that we're taking a look at the short-term rentals,
right?
Because we've had a lot of those come in.
Lots of. I mean, one right after the other.
Exactly, and so we just want to make sure that the policies that we've got in place make sense. Mm-hmm. To review those, to revisit them, and make adjustments where it benefits the community and the individual property owner. Mm-hmm. I know that one of the things that I ran on was keeping government out of our personal lives as much as possible, and that's one of the things that I want to do, with the as far as the short-term rentals go.
Right. So when the government shows up and says, we're here to help you, you really want them to be there to help you.
Exactly. That's true.
You've had a lot of, you've been restructuring a lot of organizations. A couple things, the EDA, and I'm hoping that, like we were talking about before we started, the EDA is an important tool we have, and I think we need to make sure we're focused on that and get it out there. And
I agree with you. I think that EDA being a good sales venue for both the county and for Front Royal is important, and drawing good businesses into the county is very important, and the EDA is a great tool through which to do that.
Yeah, it is. It's great because we're looking at our town. We got so many things in Warren County, but I always say we're treated like redheaded stepchildren. It seems like in the state. I don't know. Maybe that's just my observation.
No, I think that
I look at all the things the governor sends out, and they're all going to Winchester or Manassas.
They're going to Winchester. They're going down to
Harrisonburg, that direction.
Exactly, down to Rappahannock and places like that. I think that we are strategically located, with the confluence between 81 and 66, so that we could draw a lot of good businesses, good solid businesses in here, and and be a community where you've got folks who live here and work here.
Right. I noticed when if you stand out there at the Shenandoah and 14th Street. I'm thinking of what's those roads called there, and you just watch the traffic at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Just comes boring in from Winchester, and then when you go down to 55 and Commerce, all the traffic is just heading out of Front Royal. So it's like,
exactly.
I know what's going on, collecting signatures and things downtown. And, can you sign this? Oh, I live in Winchester. Oh, I live in Winchester. Yeah. They're working in Front Royal, but they live up in Stephen City, Winchester.
Exactly.
And there's a disconnect there. And, we talk about if you bring a business here, do I have a workforce? I think we fixed our education. We have nice new school buildings. Mm-hmm. Our education department is trying to, improve our schools, which is suffering everywhere in the state. Mm-hmm. But that's on the drawing board, being better. Workforce, I mean, people are moving, but we are lacking in property, places to live. And, everyone is, the people that are building houses, if they wait too long, the home builders, these big national chains they're starting to sneak into Front Royal. They're building everywhere else around us. Mm-hmm. And it won't be long for somebody will cave and they'll be there, building, because then all we'll end up as a bedroom community and we won't have businesses.
Exactly. And it's funny that you bring that up, because my daughter and son-in-law could not find a place to buy here. They ended up moving to Luray.
Right.
And they bought a small house over there, a small starter house, because they're a young family. Mm-hmm. But I was disappointed that they were not able to find affordable housing here in Front Royal, because there just wasn't any.
Right. Or it could be talking about our assessment because everything's been assessed through the roof.
That's one of the things I wanted to mention. The assessments are really driven by the market.
Right.
And the assessments are not your taxes.
Exactly.
The taxes will be the board will set the tax rate, and I will tell you that the tax rates will come down because we are not looking at making a windfall within the county
Right.
from increased assessments. What we want to do, it's called the Board of Equalization. What we want to do is take a look at this year's budget, and we've been going through that for the last 4 weeks. Take a look at the budget, make adjustments where possible, spend our money wisely, and keep the taxes down as much as possible. So we will be readjusting the tax rates. Right now, they're about 65 cents per $100 valuation.
Mm-hmm.
We will bring those down so that the county is not making a windfall, but we can meet our budget.
Right.
And we're taking close scrutiny on the budget, making sure that we're spending our money wisely, and that that just like I told you, we want to work smarter, not harder.
Well, in the rumor mill that I hear, that the board is really pushing back on the budgets because a lot of the, how would you call it, the departments
Yes.
that come in and have not really done a zero-based budget. They just said, oh, well, last year we got, excuse me, this much, so this year we want more.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, a few members say no, and they don't know what to do. You know?
No, exactly. We're taking a look and we're asking, okay, do you have the right workforce that you need? Do you have enough people? Do you have too many people? Then what are the things that you're working on, and then what is it that you actually need? Now we do have some folks who work very hard. We want to give them raises, but on the other hand, we're taking a look at some of the departments and we're saying, okay, you've got some vacancies. Are those things that you can do without?
You've been vacant for 2 years. Why all of a sudden now we have to replace? You've managed to get by for 2 years. Also, I've heard rumors. How the rumors spread, but you're really scrutinizing handouts. I've used the handout thing. We have a lot of organizations, and most of them are good and worthwhile, but is it really necessary for the county to fund them? And that's what I'm hearing. So I hear the county is looking at those organizations and really asking hard questions.
Well, one of the things that we're looking at is we take a look at an organization and we ask them, okay, well, what do you do? Do you provide any funding to other organizations? And we're finding that there's some instances where one organization provides funding to this organization over provides funding to the same one, and we're going, well, why are we doing that?
Right.
And is there a better way for us to provide the services that the county is funding through the 501c3s?
Right. Well, because everybody just comes and says, "Well, I need money for this and need money for that," and are they really providing a service that the county wants? And if they, way I kind of looked at it is, if they're providing a service that you would have to provide, then it's much more economical to fund them.
Yeah.
But to fund them and they're not providing that service, or they're here and we're funding them, but none of our county residents aren't benefiting from that service.
Exactly. That's what we want to make sure of is that our money is being spent wisely, and that it benefits either directly or indirectly our taxpayers, our constituents.
Yeah, because I've heard that. Because a lot of times, you show up, you ask for $10,000, they give it to you. You don't really have a clue where it goes, what it does.
Yeah, exactly.
And it sounds like small change, but those small, the pennies add up to dollars, don't they?
It certainly does. Yeah, when you start lining all these up, pretty soon those 3 turn into 4, turn into 5, turn into 6 figures.
Right,
and
right.
Before you know it, you're spending a lot of money. And you're going, well, where is this going?
Right. I remember I was talking to the sheriff last year, and we were talking about the budget, and he mentioned, well, yeah, the budget, but so I took this car. It was still good. It might not have been good for a patrol car, but it sure worked good for this purpose. So we just repurpose all these things around because, that's a big expense as a vehicle nowadays. My gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Two of those are real money.
You mentioned the sheriff, and I just wanted to let you know that I support Sheriff Butler for his reelection. I think that he's doing a fantastic job. He's one of the folks, he took a look at the vehicles, and instead of asking for all new vehicles, he said, I can get a new vehicle for $75,000, but if I take this one that has 300,000 miles on it, pull the engine and the transmission out for $15,000 and put it back in, I can repurpose that vehicle and either use it on the force, or I can use it, or else I can trade it with somebody else in the county and get something a little bit less used.
Right.
He's been very frugal with the department. I think that he's done a great job. And I know that the Republicans or the Democrats have not, formally nominated anybody. But I just wanted to put it out there that because he's doing such a good job, I'm putting my support behind him.
Right. I also heard rumors he presented a zero-based budget. He started one of the only ones. That's just a rumor I heard.
He did. He did, and his department also just got, and I want to say certified, but that's not the correct
accredited.
Accredited.
That's a big thing. I mean, I don't know if the public really realizes it, and the sheriff's going to be coming in here soon, and we're going to talk about that. But it's been a lot of years. We had been accredited in the past, but a couple administrations just kind of let it fall through, and that involves tons of stuff to do that.
Only 27% of the law enforcement agencies within the state are accredited, and
it's a big thing.
And Sheriff Butler has done a great job in getting the accreditation, and he's also done a great job in making sure that his force is well equipped and that they're well trained.
Right.
And I know that the issue with Mr. Ennis, and I think that was very unfortunate. My heart goes out to his family on that, but I think that the sheriff took the appropriate actions, and as far as that incident goes, and I just have to say that he's got my full support. And people ask me, they say, well, you're a Butler and he's a Butler. Are you all related? I say, no, his family came from the good side of the tracks.
Oh, it's crazy. It's a crazy world out there.
So
no matter what you say, there's going to be somebody for you, and there's going to be somebody against you. So
absolutely. And that's one of the great things about this country is the fact that we have the opportunity to be able to voice and support what we think is best for our community. You don't find that all over the world.
No.
And that's one thing that I truly welcome and appreciate when we get people who come to the Board of Supervisors meeting and they're willing to get up and state what their feelings, what their point of view is.
Right.
I really welcome that.
And you also provide a large chunk of time in every meeting for that, for public comments.
We do.
Yeah, it's great. So you got a couple more years left on your term, I believe.
A couple of more years.
So what do you want to get accomplished in the next 2 years? Do you have any personal projects that you really think are...
The things that I want to take a look at that I'd like to move forward on, first of all, is to is for controlled growth within the county. You and I had talked about this before. I think that uncontrolled growth, you can go out over into the some other areas within the state, and you can see some of the uncontrolled growth. I think that controlled growth is important here. Also, making sure that the EDA gets good businesses in here. I want to clean up that mess that occurred, years ago with the EDA. get that done and get it behind us. And I will tell you that Cheryl Cullers and I both feel that settling the some of the cases that we've got with the EDA, that it's important to let people know that if they mess with this county, that the county will take action on that. And that's the word that I want to get out to folks. Don't mess with Warren County, because we will take action.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
Because for years, I always say we kind of been walked all people. The public perception is that there's a good old boy network here, and that everybody just got their hand in the cookie jar. It just.
Well, I can tell you that as far as on the Board of Supervisors, I don't think any of us have our hand in the cookie jar, and and if it was a good old boy network, we are at least on the board, we are doing our best to move away from that, because if anyone benefits in this county, I want it to be the constituents, the taxpayers.
Sure. Well, there's a couple projects going on out in your area. When you are in the Shenandoah, is that what that's called? Or
no.
What's your Happy Creek? It's you think when you're out by Linden and all that, that kind of is in your area. I don't really think of that as Happy Creek, but they keep drawing the lines there. So what's happening out there? There's been some controversy with sheets and everything else going on, but that area is growing.
People ask me about sheets, and I'll tell you right now, when 400 signatures came from the Apple Mountain and the Blue Mountain area, I said, I don't care how much that benefits the county. Those people did not want that, and if I had been on the board at the time,
right,
I would have voted against it.
Right.
And and that's all I'll say.
Okay. So I guess there's nothing happening in the near future out that way, but
well, I do understand that Sheets is moving in. That they're taking
putting in a more traditional sheets and not something the Taj Mahal they're going to build.
Honestly,
it's been kind of kept quiet. That's why I was wondering.
It's been kept quiet. I think it's because of the controversies that it started. Yeah. But I just want to make sure that when they do move in, that it's a good business that benefits the community.
Yeah, it's great. That's great, because that's an area where we have very restricted area for traffic and things coming off there, and everyone seems to get off there and drive down the 55 into town. So it's a it's a bottleneck. So
the other area that I've been focusing on is High Knob. I've been working with VDOT to take steps to make sure that we get the funding, and that funding probably will not take place for another not the funding, but the
road plan
when they start the building, probably will not be for another 5 or 6 years, and that's just the lead time for VDOT.
Right.
But the
wheels do not turn fast at VDOT.
No, they do not.
Unless you want to do something in it.
but widening that road. In the meantime, within the next six or 8 months, they are going to be putting up some yellow flashing signs and some additional road signs. I know that they're talking with High Knob right now to tap into their electric, so that they can run those road signs.
Right. I know those little rumble strips, they're not real noticeable, but when you hit them, something's going on. I pay attention.
Exactly.
Call it driving braille, when you hit those things there. But there's a lot of things going on all over the county. Talked to Vicki about the things at the airport. She's all excited about the airport, and there's a lot of new people have come out there.
That certainly have. We've put out bids. We've got some maintenance activities are going to be moving in there. We've also got the skydiving. We've had traditionally we've had the sailplanes or the gliders out there. We're also pushing to have some type of through the EDA some type of marketing so that people know that Skyline Drive is here. I was out there one day and a plane flew in and a guy gets out. He was retired military. He and his wife, they get out and they say, "We heard about Skyline Drive. We wanted to fly over here. We want to rent a car. We're going to spend the night here and we're going to tour Skyline Drive." And I thought, that is a great marketing.
Sure.
Right there.
Sure, right there. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Maybe we'll get you back here in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and
I'd love to.
And we, I of course I twist their arm. Cheryl does not like to get on the camera, but she does. She comes in and had Vicki in. So my goal is to get, try to get the board and the town to start doing a little more, keep the public informed of what's going on, and get to know people a little better, and you just don't run in those circles, out there where you live. You're out in the county, out in the county.
Yeah.
You like the way they say that? You're out in the county. I mean, that's the thing we don't realize. We're all in the county.
Well, so people ask me, well, where do you live? And I tell them, I say, if you step in the middle of our street and throw a rock, you can almost hit the new hospital.
There you go.
So it's and we thought when they put that hospital up there, that there'd be a lot of noise, but that they've kept it down, quite a lot.
Right.
And it's only a 3-minute drive for me, so I can't complain about it.
Yeah.
I do wish that when they had planned the hospital, that they'd put it in a little bit more central part, for the county itself, because if they put it over in some place like what is the name of it? It's not River Commons, but it's over by Walmart and Target.
Right.
They put it over there. It would have been a little bit closer to the high-speed, what I call high-speed avenues of approach,
sure.
which is 61 or 66 and 81. But where it's at, it's I know that it's a good hospital. I know a lot of people who work there, and it's a.
You realize that where it is, it doesn't seem centered now, but when you look at the map of where our future growth is going to be and where our future residents are going to be, they're right in the heart of it.
You're right. You're right about that.
Yeah, because that's really the central part of town is going to shift out that direction, at least as far as, so, we have that limited access parkway, and we got our schools. So we might not see it in our lifetime, but because they've been putting it down for 30 years. But when you look at what's already plotted and growth, and if we can just get some visionaries to see that, and the example I use is Jubal Early Drive and Crossover Drive in Winchester. You see, I can remember years ago driving into Winchester, and I just see all these, things stuck up in trees, in the middle there. I said, you can't get across. You got to drive all the way around to get over to, Valley Avenue.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this Jubal Early Drive comes cutting through there, and it was just through the woods. Well, you look at it now, that is their main source of revenue, I would think. All the bits, like their corridor is right there.
It certainly is.
And now they've done it on Crossover Drive. They're going from the airport road across, and already we have a CarMax built back in there, and a lot of construction.
Yeah.
And so the old saying, if you build it, they'll come. And I kind of believe that in from town. So, we're looking this week to get that road cut across and get that intersection out there at Happy Creek Road and Dismal Hollow. If you can get that, push that through. And that's only going to be done politically, by the way. You can talk to VDOT till you're blue in the face, and it'll never happen. And this is where, I'm giving some of my personal advice here. I know you don't want it, but you need to work this politically. You got to get the governor. You got to get the SID. You got to get your delegates. And you got to push it, because VDOT will do what they're told. You know what I mean?
Well, and that
will change our county footprint.
That's our ace in the hole. I know that Dolores Oates is running for delegate,
and we're going to twist her arm if she wins that, or any of them.
When she wins,
well, or anybody that's delegate, or whoever gets our senator. We really need to work things politically, because that's how things get done.
No,
and we have
right.
never done that. I don't. Years ago when Andy Guest was our delegate, he was the last one I remember that, now we have 3 delegates. And they're all individually, they're nice guys, and I like all of them. But in one sense, it's like you have no delegate, because no one area will swing an election. So, even if they make their section mad at Warren County or whatever, they're still going to get elected, So
Yeah.
I think it's better when, you have to have some accountability. So hopefully our new senator and a new delegate will have a larger chunk of Warren County, well, all of them Warren County on the senator.
Yeah.
And maybe we can start doing some of these things to represent our region of the state. And, we're just getting, this is kind of like a forgotten part of the state. It's another thing I point out, I don't know if people really realize it or not, that Winchester identifies with Northern Virginia. Front Royal is identified with Richmond. It's always been that way. If you look at how the state offices that support the regions, look it up. If you go to Winchester, they're supported by state offices in Northern Virginia. Front Royal is supported by offices in Richmond. Now, why that divide? We're closer to Northern Virginia than Winchester, but it's always been a divide. I can remember when we moved here, my accountant says, "Oh, nothing ever good happens in Front Royal. You should just move on everything up to Winchester," And it's just an attitude that people have, and I think we need to. Maybe it's part of that old Helltown image that we have, but we need to. And you know what the difference? And I tell people this all the time, and they don't always agree with me. The difference between, say, a Winchester type city and Front Royal. Winchester got the idea about 20 or 30 years sooner than Front Royal. Zoning. And that's really what it's all about. Little things like curb and guttering and all those little things that we fight in this town, they embrace.
Yeah.
And your zoning is what changes the makeup of your county and your town. And
That's true.
And not to have we've been fighting a comprehensive plan. The town and the county have never been able to, I think it's closer now than ever that I can remember. We build a plan and then the board or the council just goes and, well, they're going to go another direction. Well, wait a minute. You got to stick to the plan because
That's
this is
right.
a long-term vision. We always go after the short game. Let's go play the long game because that's really where the money is.
Exactly.
So I've taken your time.
No, not at all. Not at all. I appreciate
This
that.
is the only time you can, I can make him feel bad and say, give him my ideas. But no, seriously, there's a lot of things like that
There are.
that we get hung up in getting in the weeds.
Yeah.
I always accuse the town council and the Board of Supervisors of managing the county. In reality, we have a county administrator. We have a town manager. That's their job.
That's right.
And get out of the way. We shouldn't be involved in all these little petty things. But it's easy to do.
I can tell you that Vicki Cook, she is the chairperson.
She is.
She at the meetings she'll turn and she'll say, but that is the county administrator's job. That's
Right.
the county administrator's job.
Because I told her this the same thing.
Yeah. and she defers to that.
Yeah.
She understands
you need to,
that.
because you really should be focusing on this planning. It's all because you did some of that in your civilian job, didn't you? Weren't you in the
I did.
project manager planning? And,
Yes.
if you don't plan, you fail.
That's right. They say that
I've heard that in the Bible somewhere.
people don't plan to fail; they just fail to plan.
Exactly. These little phrases and things and cliches, they're cliches because they're true.
No, it is. That's very true. They say that if you don't have a destination to go, any road will get you there.
It's like no decision is a decision.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
All right, Jay, great. It's always great to talk to you. I appreciate it so much. Say hi to everyone else on the board.
I certainly will.
Encourage them to come in and speak to us, and they all have.
I will.
But, I think we just need to do it more often and try to get a little personality into our supervisors, that they're real people and they do care about our county. All right? Appreciate it. Thanks again.
Thank you.